Clearly, there's a lot of consternation about the outcome for the election. But, keep in mind that what investors seem to be taking their cue from in the US are incredibly strong macro numbers, as you've outlined nicely. Really strong numbers. The GDP figure that you discussed, not only do consumers really lead it, but just to put some further context to it, in Q2, when GDP growth was 3.0 year over year, inventory build was responsible for 1% of that three. This quarter, Q3, inventory contracted. So what that tells you, ergo, is that the consumer, as you mentioned, is really driving this, as well as business consumption. So it was a stronger print than it even really looks like. So I think what you're seeing is several weeks of increase in the equity markets in the U.S. because of that macro numbers kind of outperforming. You see it in the City Surprise Index. And I think that's also why you're seeing this buildup in yields, because the economy is certainly much stronger than we all thought. Obviously, if we put we look back at January and we all thought we'd see a recession by now.
Sure. And Eric, do you think that could be a swing factor, the growth numbers? Because obviously, what's been working in the favor of the Republican Party is people feeling that Trump will be better for the markets and better for the economy. And this economic reading, do you think in the last phase of voting could turn out to be a swing factor, if at all? Because forget about soft landing or no landing. The economy seems to be flying high.
Yeah, that's a great question. That perhaps could be one of the questions. We are so close, as you probably know, in the 7 swing states that will decide the Electoral College outcome, that, just some little push points like this in the week before the election could make a difference. So, yeah, it could make a difference. It's really hard to say. The polling looks like Trump may have a minor lead, but that's hard to say. Historically, he has tended to outperform the polls, and that's why I think the market is kind of coalescing around this potential Trump win. We shall see. I think what's important is, for investors to kind of revisit their risk profile, because we just don't know what's going to happen.